You're watching MATTtV.
Hi, I'm Valerie. Welcome to MATTtV. You know, it's hard to imagine that this little country parish in Charlotte, North Carolina is one of the largest in the country, but we are. And with that comes all kinds of ways to help and reach out to the community. St. Matthew Catholic Church has over 100 ministries, so there are lots of ways for you to get involved. On today's episode, we're going to explore a ministry that helps those that are hungry, and another one that helps those in need to stay warm.
Have you eaten any of those?
No, I'm not hungry.
Wait, is that weird green bread?
Right now, this is our Ministry of Sandwich Services for our faith formation, and we start our fifth graders off and teaching them our Catholic identity of service. So this is our fifth grade sandwich service that feeds the homeless, and we help urban ministries in uptown Charlotte with what their mission is of feeding the homeless. Urban Ministries is the name of the facility that we help. It is definitely a family event. We call it a fifth grade service. We introduce it in fifth grade, but we also include the family. Yes, definitely. It's not just fifth graders.
It looks like everybody's having a good time too.
I hope so.
How many
We love it.
sandwiches do you think?
We usually have about anywhere between 500 to 800 sandwiches.
And how long have you been doing it?
We've been doing this for about 6 years that I've been here, and I know they've been doing it longer than that.
So 500 to 800 sandwiches per year? Per
No,
event?
per event. Per event.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
So let's do the math. 8 years, how many a year do you do?
So that's probably about, 7 months worth times, let's call it 8. So that's a lot of sandwiches. And Urban Ministries is open 24/7. So this is only a small portion of what Urban Ministries actually does. So we're just a small piece of that bigger puzzle as well.
So how can people help?
People can help by logging on to Urban Ministries, and they definitely have a need for help, and they'll slot you in. You can help serve, and we actually do take our fifth graders down once a year, a small amount because the facility is not that big and cannot handle a huge St. Matthew crowd. But we will take a few down every year, and we will serve our homeless neighbors. Judy gets out of watching the Spirit of God, of Jesus work in each and every one of us, and helping each other, because I don't care if you're the President of the United States or you are the homeless person under a bridge. We are all God's people, and we are called to serve each other. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Remember, follow your faith with MATTtV.
What are you doing?
This is the knitting and crochet group,
Okay.
and we have four or five charities that we contribute to. Miravia, Urban Ministry, we've just added Kindred Rehab. Where's my list? I have some others. The Greenway Park School, and the men's shelter.
And what are you doing?
We are doing hats, mittens, scarves, gloves, blankets, Afghans, socks, just any kind of baby items, or socks or hats for the men's shelter.
And
I think last year we did over 700. And Fran does the hats for the men's shelter, and her goal this year is to do 300. Is that 275? And she's already done 50 for the Greenway Park Elementary School.
So you've been doing this 4 years?
Yes.
How many items would you say in 4 years you've turned out?
Thousands. Yeah, probably 3,000.
3,000 plus?
Yeah, we did 700 last year. So, yeah, 2,000 to 3,000. But yeah, we are always looking for new members.
I've got one.
So, yes, in yarn. We usually twice a year ask the parishioners, once or twice a year, ask the parishioners for donations. Because we rely on that heavily, so that we can pump out as many things as our little fingers can make.
So if somebody wants to help, somebody wants to join, somebody wants to be a part of this,
They can contact the main office or contact Diane Huckbody, who is over the Seams of Faith group.
You made those.
I certainly did.
And what's wrong?
Nothing.
Okay.
They're perfect, aren't they? Actually, when I needed them, one was a little bit smaller, so when I was blocking them with the iron, I stretched, so they would be the same.
They're beautiful.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. One of the girls gave me all these they taught me how to do. All these wonderful women.
Did you learn how to knit here?
Yes, I did.
Who taught you? This group of ladies?
All these ladies were very kind and very patient with me, so I just really love doing this, though. I'm limited on what I can do, so when I heard about this and it was during the day, I get a lot of satisfaction. And the thing that's nice about it, too, is if I can't make it for whatever reason, I can always work on it at home. So, it's something you can continuously do. And it really makes me feel good to do something for somebody else. I think that's important. That's what we're here for. That's important. And I appreciate everybody in this room. I have made incredible friends. And we get concerned when somebody's not here, which is really nice. A lot of groups, I attend a lot of classes and stuff, but this group I think is a very special group, and they're caring for each other besides other people, so that makes it nice.
Who taught you to love? How and when did you learn how to love? On this episode of MATTtV, our youth minister Mark shares his thoughts.
We all have someone, probably multiple people, in our lives who taught us how to love. Whether it was a dramatic event or the slow processes of parenting or friendship or falling in love. And those people, they didn't take us to a class, they didn't give us a book. They taught us to love by loving us first. And this weekend, we celebrate the Feast of All Saints and the Feast of All Souls. On these days, we celebrate the saints, popular famous saints like Teresa and Claire and Sebastian and Francis. But we also celebrate the holy men and women of our lives who first taught us to be like God, to love like God. I recently posted a picture of this raspberry bush on Facebook and Instagram. I'm not big on social media, but it was really important, this bush, to me. It doesn't look like much, but for me, this bush symbolizes one of the people that first taught me to love. Right when I posted on Facebook, I immediately got a response from my Uncle Jim. He wrote, "Papa would be proud." And this raspberry bush, for me, it symbolizes my grandfather, a man who first was in my life and first taught me how to love. This kind of reminds me, having this bush, it reminds me of what we do when we celebrate the Mass. We don't just recollect the Last Supper. We don't just pretend the prayers. No, we believe that during the Mass, we live the Last Supper again. Here and now, Jesus' body and blood, they're broken for us. Heaven and earth, past and present, they come together. They merge in that celebration. And the greatest moment of love in all history happens again for us. And in a lesser way, this plant is kind of like that. It breaks the barrier between life and death, between the past and present. In this plant, I can taste the love that my grandfather had for me. So when I saw my uncle's Facebook post, I didn't just like it. I commented back and I said, "No, Uncle Jim, Grandpa isn't just, he wouldn't be proud of this. He is proud, and I can feel it." Maybe you know this experience. Maybe there's a place or a meal or a story or something that brings you into the presence, into the real presence of someone who taught you how to love. On this weekend, on this Feast of Saints and Feast of Souls, take the time to make that meal, to tell that story, to go to that place, and to bring yourself into the presence of the love that first taught you how to love. And take the time to celebrate it.
This is MATTtV.
So how does a Southern Baptist become the coordinator of the confirmation program at one of the largest Catholic churches in the country? Emily brings us this story.
I'm here with Heather King, the confirmation coordinator. You run the confirmation here at St. Matthew's, but you weren't always Catholic. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yep, I was raised in a Southern Baptist family and went to church more times than I can count every week. I was there probably for about 15 hours every week. I was there for Wednesday nights, Sunday morning till Sunday afternoon, and went back Sunday evenings, and grew up in a very faith-centered house that was full of God and full of love, and always loved the church I was at, but knew I never really felt at home. And I was blessed to really have supportive parents that just always told me, as long as you love God and love Jesus and make that the center of your life, whatever faith you choose or however you choose to express that is fine with us. So in the church I grew up in, there was always a lot of pressure to accept Jesus and join the church and be baptized. And I was never even comfortable from the time I was a small child with that in the church that I was in. I just always felt there was something missing. And our pastor would come visit and my youth minister would come visit and say, don't you want to join the church? And I was like, no, it just doesn't feel right to me. And my mom and dad were great at saying, back off and let her come to Jesus in her own way.
So why the Catholic Church? What made you come?
I had what was probably the world's worst middle school experience you could ever imagine. And midway through my 6th grade year, my parents knew they either needed to get me out of the school I was in or figure out something else to go on. So my aunt taught at the local Catholic grammar school that was a K through 8 school. So that at the time was the best alternative. So they put me in that school, and the first week I was there, we went to Mass and there was reconciliation, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I just got in the reconciliation line and went to reconciliation, but told the priest I'm not Catholic, so obviously I didn't receive the sacrament. But it was a super welcoming experience, and the priest that I was blessed to sit with that day was absolutely phenomenal. And being there with the celebration of Mass and seeing the Eucharist and seeing the importance and the beauty of it, just that first time whenever I was in 6th grade was the most incredible experience. And in that first week in my Catholic school, whenever I sat down in Mass that time, it just clicked, and I was like, I feel at home, and this is what I've been missing my whole life. So it's really weird, like even as an 11 or 12-year-old, I was able to figure out, like, this is the place for me. Even though this isn't where my family is, this is what I want.
Thanks for watching MATTtV. Please send us your comments and thoughts at mattTV@stmatthewcatholic.org. For the MATTtV teens, I'm Valerie. And remember to follow your faith with MATTtV.
Let's go.
Oh my, okay, all right.
2, 1.
I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm going to say.
You all right?
You sure I look awake?
Oh, you look great. I need it.
I'm sure that my grandpa would be proud, but I lost it.
That's cool. No sweat.
I'm Parker.
That was good.
Forgot what I was going to say.